Galactic Federation of Light Update, October 4, 2016. 5 Manic, 10 Zots, 13 Carbon. Dratzo. Those who know the history of this old republic rejoice that this new version is so securely involved in Nasara. Back in the era following the American Civil War, Congress had passed a Washington, D.C. Reformation Act. This legislation became the cover for the Minions' Final Deception, USA Incorporated. This corporate lie was permitted to rule America and encourage a form of dishonesty that made a firm mockery of this nation's bold origins. This vile deceit led to an upsurge in stealing, and in heinous organizations like the Federal Reserve and the IRS. It led, too, to a position in the dark's hierarchy never conceived of when America was first born. This nation became the forerunner of an evil that was only multiplied as the 20th century advanced from the end of the Second World War to the advent of the 21st century. The start of this century again demonstrated the boldness of this illegal governance with the shock of 9/11 and the sudden rise in wars that quickly followed. The USA had become the henchman for a clique of aristocrats that were fully intent on ruling and decimating this globe. It is only a bold gathering of the light that has diligently worked to stop them. This magnificent assemblage at last brought back a degree of sanity. It allowed as well for a special coalition of military and civilians to resurrect Nasara and bring down the huge monster that USA Incorporated had become. It is this growth of a broad-based international partnership that gave the American group the means to swiftly move forward with their strategies to replace this vile regime. This process had originally come from the way Nasara was first passed into law in the early 2000s. This operation had been somewhat waylaid by the endless Middle Eastern wars that sprang up between 2003 and 2011. In the mid-2010s, this operation was revived, leading to the project to firmly install Nasara governance. The rise of this new institution is to be part of a worldwide movement to establish new financial and governmental institutions that encourage global prosperity and end governmental corruption. This process is now systematically coming online and letting the world's population breathe easier. There are several additional benefits as well. This growing reality is truly about peace, freedom, and prosperity. No longer will America have to worry about the evils of the income tax. Americans are also to be rewarded through a jubilee that is to permit all to know that a number of fraudulent loans for housing, cars, and the like are to be forgiven. America is thus to be free from debt and all that it brings. It is to be an era in which Americans can begin to be proud again of their government, and to know the incredible things this shift in the world is to bring. All the foreign bases are to be closed as America is finally able to enjoy a peace that its ancestors long enjoyed. It is to be a time when a search for excellence in all things is to return. The rights given by the Constitution are to be fully restored, and many people are to be freed from prisons for crimes no longer to be endured. This is to be a happy time for America. The long little wars are to end. It is to be a period in which the government again responds to the people, and all works well again. It is to be a time of freedom and prosperity. Not only is a great era of peace, freedom, and prosperity on the horizon, but it is to be, moreover, a point at which disclosure can happen. We have worked long through our liaisons to create an atmosphere conducive to numerous official announcements, which can introduce us to you. Since the end of World War II, a conspiracy by the Dark Minions has existed to deny that we exist. This nonsense was prevalent in the media and movies of the era. We were portrayed as dark, with an agenda for invasion and world domination. This is far from the truth. As part of our heavenly mission, we have undertaken the initiative to aid the light in your world. Our galactic initiatives derive from the special mission given us more than 2 decades ago by heaven's decrees. Each of you is to be returned to full consciousness. This leads us to yet another disclosure that was long denied by your governments, Agartha. Our arrival is not only to ready you for your destiny, but also to introduce you to your cousins, the Agarthans. You are beginning to grab hold of a most marvelous future. Namaste. We are your ascended masters. We come in joy, knowing that new governance is destined to be the law of the land. This carrying out of Nasara is just the beginning of a number of changes that are to alter how America is now seen in the world. At the time of American independence, we masters supported and helped this young nation be born. America was meant to be a working prototype for what this globe strongly requires. It was to be a nation whose actions ran counter to those of Europe. This belief was sadly short-circuited by the unfortunate policies of the American regimes that followed the end of America's most tragic Civil War. The Dark Lords of money and position took over America's noble purpose and derailed it. Now, thanks to your shining visions and grace-filled focus, this great nation is to be reborn. Glory be to all concerned. The events that are to follow are to show the magnificent power of your collective energies and the miracles that are being accomplished by heaven. From our gracious hearts, we thank the marvelous works achieved by you and by heaven. This time is to be known by the great things that you are to do collectively. We are also grateful for heaven's decree that permitted our space and spiritual families to help. When all is done, you are each to achieve your deepest dreams, and this realm is to finally let go of the dark shackles that have for too long been the regret of any day. This new age of freedom and prosperity is, in part, your wondrous work. We fully commend all of you for your constant work and never-ending hope. Be gracious and, with goodwill, lend your aid to Gaia and her diverse ecosystems. Hosanna! 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 All of these glories are to be yours. Do not lose hope. See what is unfolding as a great gift bestowed by heaven. Thousands of years ago, a great light was reflected around this world. Since then, it has reverberated repeatedly. It is now able to materialize and, voila, this new age of wonders is born. You have the gracious opportunity to know it again. This is also a time when we masters are to explain your true history. Take this in and comprehend its magnificence. Long-hidden inventions and knowledge are to appear. You are to end the long years of frustrations about your life, your loves, and your reality. Let this new exchange of energies become one with you, and then simply rejoice. This odd, dark realm is ending. Heaven and a vast throng of angels and guardians are transforming it. Be one in love. Today, we continued our weekly reports. Around us are great deeds of light that are transforming this dark realm into one of light. These times are thus the old glorious prophecies being born to ready you for the age of your galactic humanhood. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of heaven are indeed yours. So be it. Selamat Gajan. Selamat Ya, Syrian for be one. And be in joy. Channeled by Sheldon Neidel. www.paoweb.com